Whether you're brand new to short-term rentals or a seasoned host, one thing remains the same. Analyzing your property to ensure it's going to be profitable is the biggest step you're going to take. In today's video, I'll walk you through my 5-step guide to analyzing a short-term rental property in any part of the country, and by the end, you'll have the tools to evaluate any property and be confident going forward. Let's dive in. My name is Garrett Brown, and I'm a short-term rental investor and the Bigger Pockets resident STR expert, and I'm here to break down our new 5-step guide to analyzing any short-term rental property out there. Here's the deal. You can pick an ideal market or even a less than stellar one, but if the property itself doesn't make financial sense, you're going to struggle. Success in the STR world comes in two areas: the real estate side and the hospitality side. If you nail both, you're going to outperform your market every single time. As I go into the 5 steps, this is going to assume that you have already chosen your market. This could be in your backyard. This could be a vacation area that you went to as a kid. This could be in a very popular vacation area, or this could be in a business travelers area. There's a lot of different keys to analyzing these deals. We are going to assume that you have already picked your market, but if you haven't, we will have a resource below on how to pick a market and more videos coming soon about this exact topic. Let us know in the comments if you want a picking a market video for 2025, and we'll make a deep dive for you. The first step when you are picking out a property is you need to know if it can even be legally rented as a short-term rental, or if you're going to have a mound of red tape to go through. This first step is all about regulations and zoning. Even in vacation hotspots, some areas do not allow a short-term rental to operate. If you have an HOA, the chances become even higher. One big thing here is work with an investor-friendly real estate agent that knows that market and the short-term rental side of that market. Ask them if they have any short-term rentals or how many they have helped in the past few years to acquire active short-term rentals. Just because they did a few long-term rental deals does not mean they understand the rental side of short-term. Even having a rockstar agent in your corner, you're still going to have to do your own due diligence. Usually you can quickly go on Google, search the city name that you're in, and type in short-term rental regulations behind it, and there's going to be a list of websites that come up, most likely from that county or city, giving you the written instructions for what you need to do to acquire a short-term rental permit. Most of the time it's going to be something along the lines of paying some type of fee to get it permitted, having an inspection done, possibly making sure you're not within a certain amount of feet from another short-term rental. This varies per city, and also checking the HOA in that area. A lot of states have ruled, especially something like Texas, that a short-term rental is considered a residential use in HOAs. But the last place I would want to deal with is if I'm the only short-term rental in a whole HOA of residential houses. You will get so many neighbor complaints that Airbnb might even just shut down your listing because of it. So there's strength in numbers if you're joining into an HOA. If you are the only short-term rental in there, I would avoid it. If you are one of quite a few or many, then you have strength in numbers, and it's probably an HOA that will be safe for vacation rentals. After you figured out what areas will allow short-term rentals and you start to get a grasp on which areas might be ones you want to look in, the second step is to look at the STR data for that particular area. You can use a tool like AirDNA, Mashvisor, or Price Labs and type in the address that you're looking into to see what is an average of what you're going to make as an average daily rate, an occupancy rate, and an estimated annual revenue. These are just averages though. This is what the middle line of the properties are going to perform. You might be able to outperform it, you might underperform it, but this is a good baseline to understand if you're going to be in a profitable area based on the average of the ones around you. Looking at some of these properties and seeing which one's the most profitable, you're going to need to figure out what is your target guest. Who actually comes to this area, or who are you going to try to attract? Is it families? Is it romantic getaways for couples? Is it bachelorette and bachelor parties? Is it the business traveler? Once you've identified what this need is in the area, you can tailor your search to that. For example, in some markets, 1 to 2 bedroom places outperform the 5+ bedroom places because of a higher yield percentage and better affordability costs with the revenue that is coming in. You won't know that until you look at the data that is in that specific area. Step 3 is identifying the unique property features that you might be able to add or that are already there. There are 3 things that will boost profitability to the highest of highest revenues you might be able to achieve, and that is location, how safe and accessible it is and close to attractions, the view, which sometimes is hard to beat, sometimes is hard to recreate, but anything with a unique view or stunning view is going to outperform others in the area without a doubt. And the third is the amenities that you have. More than just hot tubs and saunas, it's also Wi-Fi, pet friendly, pack and plays, child friendly, and just the amount of kitchen utensils you may even have in the property. This is when you need to study your competition and look at the top 3 to 5 listings on AirDNA and ask yourself, what amenities do they offer? How are they priced during peak and off season? And what makes their listing stand out that got them to the top of this? This could be adding a coffee bar, a sauna, a cowboy pool. There's going to be things that stick out to you why these properties are performing better than the ones that are in the middle of the road. Step 4 is estimating your expenses. A lot of people are saying that STRs are expensive to operate. And I have some news for you. That's a lie. They are very expensive to operate. But if you go into the property knowing that and analyze the deal with that mindset, you're not going to get crunched into a property that slams you once the expenses start to roll in on you. A good rule of thumb is about 50 to 60% on the high end of your gross revenue will be gone to expenses. This is not including your mortgage, insurance, taxes, and things like that. But these are just your major expenses that are going to eat into your revenues. Things such as cleanings, supplies, software, utilities, and everything else under the sun you can think of that might be an expense. A quick breakdown of what I would expect to pay each month percentage-wise for different expenses is utilities will probably run between 5 to 10% of your gross revenue. Maintenance and repairs will probably run between 5 to 10% of your gross revenue. Newer properties lower, older properties higher. Your cleaning fee will be between 10 to 20% of your revenue. And I'll touch on that shortly because a lot of people think that is a pass-through cost when you're looking at AirDNA numbers, but there's a little caveat I'm going to put in shortly. You will also have to pay OTA fees for Airbnb and VRBO, Booking.com. Airbnb is on the much lower end with about 3%, and they charge about 12% to the guest. VRBO and Booking.com go up quite a bit, especially Booking.com I think is in the 15% range. You just need to adjust your prices on these platforms to account for these fees some. Supplies and breakage, I'm going to estimate you're going to spend between 5 to 10% of your gross revenue, and marketing could be between 1 and 10% depending on how much you want to put into it. I recommend going between 6 to 8% depending on the type of property and the success you are already having. You always need to make sure you have reserves set aside for 3 to 6 months just in case a slow season comes around or something within your property is damaged that you can't even book it out, or even worse, Airbnb randomly shuts down your listing, which has happened to some people before without any rhyme or reason. We do have a Bigger Pockets STR calculator that I will put in the description below that can help you estimate quite a bit of these expenses and really pencil out a lot of deals that are coming up your way to quickly analyze if it's going to be something that is profitable for you now and in the future. The 5th step is projecting your profitability and your ROI on different properties. Using the Bigger Pockets STR calculator that I just mentioned will be a valuable resource to quickly figure out your cash on cash return, your cap rate, yield percentage, your 5-year analysis for what it would be worth, principal pay down, and how much cash flow you will make each month just doing these different type of operations. I aim for a 20% cash on cash return on any type of deal that I'm going to self-manage, and at least 10% if I'm hiring out for a property manager, which, newsflash, I don't do that. I am a self-managing machine. 2 of the biggest metrics that are in the Bigger Pockets STR calculator are the cash on cash return and the yield percentage. Cash on cash return is simply the annual net income divided by how much cash you have invested into the property. Then you times that by 100 and you get your percentage. The higher the percentage, the better amount of return you're getting on the cash you're putting in. The yield percentage is the estimated annual revenue divided by the home price or median home price in an area times 100. The higher the percentage, the better yield you are getting on the amount of money that you spent to buy the house. Higher yield percentage, better deal you're getting. But these are just a few of the metrics that are going to be found on the calculator and that can help you make an informed decision on if this is a good STR or not. Compare different properties, see which ones have the better numbers, and your gut feeling will start to make a little more sense if it's actually financially smart to buy this property. And now you have all 5 steps. Which step are you diving into first, or which one are you struggling with the most? Let us know in the comments below and we'll help out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I think YouTube wants you to watch one of these videos that's popping up now. See y'all next time.